Did you know Bank of America is saying gold will go to $2,200 this year? All-time high. Invest in a gold IRA with Noble Gold Investments and take advantage of this unique opportunity to secure your savings. With the experts at Noble Gold Investments, you can ride the wave of gold's historic rise to financial security. This month, they are offering an amazing 5-ounce silver America the Beautiful coin with every qualifying precious metals IRA or 401k rollover. NobleGoldInvestments.com, NobleGoldInvestments.com. Boom. And we are live. Before the show this morning, I was outside with my wife and she's like, what is this thing? And I look and there's this bug. Let me show you guys. I posted this on Twitter too. Because we were like, what is this? Is this a caterpillar? And we didn't know. I was like, I posted on Twitter, I was like, is this a caterpillar or like some kind of mind controlling space parasite? And then right before we go live, I'm looking, I hear my wife and kid out the window. So I say, hey, honey, there's like 200 people waiting in the lobby. It's going to be a good show. You know, I'm all excited. And she's got a propane blowtorch in her hand. And she's like, okay, cool. I'm just roasting all the larvae. And I was like, that's kind of fucked up. And she said, well, they're bad for the lawn. No. She said they're gross and they're bad for the lawn. Then she said as like an afterthought, which I think was just her justification for her like sadistic campaign that she's engaged in.
Yeah, no, I endorse the blowtorching of whatever that is and all of its offspring.
Good morning, guys. How are you doing? Well, maybe not good morning for Josh, but how are you guys doing?
I'm great.
I've been better.
What's going on? Is Kiwi Farms down again? I saw something about that.
It's Tor only, but no, my greater frustration has been trying to get a development environment working. It's been taking me like 2 days to try and figure out just something technical, but yeah, like it's just frustrating because I want to focus on my stuff and work on that, but I always have to like deal with some other bullshit side plot that's distracting.
Yeah, like doing this show. Yeah, I hear you. Well, I'll try not to make it too painful.
This should be fun. You're going to show me clips. I'm going to be entertained, right?
Yes, that is the plan. I have a selection of video clips to show you guys. We're going to run through them. I'll pause at the end, but if you have something you want to get out immediately, just start talking and I'll pause the video. Ready to go?
Ready when you are, buddy.
All right, let's do it.
So we have a few phrases that if you see these phrases online, you should just take a minute before sharing that information. So we call it like take a pause.
Those red flag phrases are let that sink in. The media won't report this. Make this go viral. Do your own research. And there are no coincidences.
When you see some of those phrases.
What do you guys think about those trigger phrases?
I, for one, am actually... I'm very pleased to hear that we are finally doing something about people that say, let that sink in. I'm
Josh,
all for this.
Josh, I was listening to your show on Friday, and I swear, hand to Bible, I heard you say, let that sink in.
I might say it sarcastically. It drives me crazy.
No, you didn't say exactly that, but you said something like, let's take a moment. I want you all to take a moment and just let this sink in or something like that. And I was like, hey, that's for the trigger phrase.
I'd say, let's unpack this. Let's unpack this. There's a lot to this. That's sarcasm. But no, it's like when someone tries to tell you that what I'm about to say or what I have said is so profound that you actually need to take a step back and really consider just how deep that shit is I threw on you. Like, no, I got it. I understand. There's no finesse to this whatsoever.
So you're on board with this campaign?
Yes.
You know that's not what she's talking about though, right? That's not someone's most of the things that she's addressing here are not deep topics. It's look, media's not going to tell you about this, and then you show them something that's like, let that sink in. I mean, this is what they're doing. That's where she's going with this. Come on, Josh, let's be honest here.
We have to find middle ground wherever it can be achieved these days.
No jokes, no jokes and no comedy and sarcasm allowed, Josh. Come on. No, it's I I mean, this is of course the media in a desperate play, right, to combat what is the burgeoning reality that people are finding their news and information as far away from mainstream media as possible. Sometimes that means a retard on the internet. Sometimes that means independent publications. Sometimes it means, well, I said a retard on the internet, so I can't say Matt Walsh again. But it doesn't matter because information is democratizing, and you can.
What's wrong with Matt Walsh? What's the lore on this?
Yeah,
What's wrong with Matt Walsh?
Yeah, he's like
he's
normie
based.
gateway.
He hates
God.
hockey. He hates video games. He's coming for all the cringe in society.
He hates anime.
Yeah.
You said nothing wrong so far.
I'm sure you and him would get along swimmingly.
No,
Walsh
there's definitely a real point to that, which is that the media is losing its grip on the narrative, and this is kind of a pathetic. Everything they do is so infantilizing. Like, oh, well, let's put out a video on the news where we tell people to ignore you if you say they're like, this is what the media won't tell you or whatever, and it's make this go viral. Like, there you go. Problem solved. We put out this PSA, and now the Patriots are back in control. The Patriots being the mainstream media.
Yeah, just use the opposites test on anything, any of these phrases, and so then apply the opposites test to whoever's saying it. Okay, so don't let that sink in. Let this just be a surface level thought that bounces off your head. The media will we will report this. We will report the other thing. Make this go viral. This doesn't need to go viral. This information isn't important and shouldn't spread across the internet. Do your own research. Actually, don't do your own research. And in fact, everything is a coincidence. So it's fine. Like, use the opposite test and expose the lunacy of whoever's saying, like, if anyone says these things, that is bad. What you want are only surface level thoughts that will not spread across to your neighbors because they're uninteresting. That's what's reported by the media, and you don't need to research it because we've done it for you, and it's all a coincidence, and nothing happens for any particular reason. That's beautiful.
I mean, they quite literally say this. There was that quote from CNN when they were talking about the Clinton email leaks, and he says something like, "Remember, it's illegal for you to view this. We can access this because we're the media. So almost a direct quote like that." And then I think the best thing that you can ever show anyone in regards to American media is that a very famous montage of all the different local stations saying this is a danger to our democracy. So that if you show
word
anyone
for
that,
word exact for it's like 45 stations all clipped together. God, it's beautiful.
like you can show the most like comfortable person in France or whatever that video, and they're like, wow, American politics is horrific, is a nightmare.
Yeah. By the way, people in the chat were saying Josh is a little bit low. I turned him up on my end, so let me know if it's better.
I can boost my gain. Hopefully I'm not blowing people's ears out now.
Just a little touch, because I already did some on my side, but they'll let us know again. But anyway, let's move on to the next video here.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just have a banana. Just eat the banana. Eat the banana. It's gonna be okay. Eat the banana. Eat the banana. Stick it in your mouth. 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 Stick it all in there.
Ew.
Get it in there. Get it in there.
That's the
Get it all the
libertarian
way
guy
in.
from the Beanie Man.
Yeah, that's Ian.
Yeah,
when
what's
the
he doing there
camera
watching
cuts to Ian and he's just sitting there looking like
Yeah.
kills me every
What the
time.
fuck is he on? This is on the Blaze, right? What is
Yeah,
this?
that's Alex Stein's show that replaced You Are Here.
Yeah.
Oh.
After I murdered You Are Here.
As deep as it'll go.
So how does this save? How is this?
How does this win the culture war?
the dude
Yeah, how
in
does this win the culture war?
the random black dude in the back. I don't know who that is, but him sitting there just like, oh, Jesus.
He's like, God, please forgive me for being a part of this. Oh.
I don't know. I like Alex Stein's little viral things when he goes and fucks around with meetings and stuff, but I've never actually enjoyed him on a live talk show, on ones I've been on or ones I've watched. He's not my cup of tea in that way. But I love the bits that he does out in person. But I
What is
can't,
the context of this though?
I have no fucking clue.
Yeah, I couldn't actually tell you. I just found this clip on Twitter. But, I think it's Alex's show, and I think they just do like goofy bits like this for comedy or for entertainment or whatever. But he's got like a recurring thing where it's like he has a bull named like DeJounte or Devonte or something who is like banging his wife according to the lore, you know. And I think that's part of it, but I don't really know the greater.
Kind of gerbils eat into the cheek.
That's good.
It's very graphic, isn't it?
Don't drop the bananas. Keep sucking on it. You're not finished yet.
He's
All
way
the way
into
to the
this.
finish.
This makes me uncomfortable.
Anyway,
You can really hear Alex Stein's like personal investment in seeing this. It's kind of strange.
He's an odd dude. He's an odd dude, but you know, go. I mean, I guess I don't know how his show's doing, but I hope it's doing well.
Yeah, I think
It's
it is.
weird.
And I mean, hey, I like Alex. He came and did this show, and I appreciate that. So, you know, I'm not trying to like shit on the guy, but that's a funny clip there. And
Yeah, I don't-
thought-provoking.
I don't dislike him or anything. It's just not my like his live stuff is not my cup of tea. That's all. But I mean, so is most of the internet. To be fair.
Yeah. There was a pretty funny thing where he had Gavin McGinnis on his show, and then they brought Andy No on. Did you actually talk about this, Josh, on your thing? I saw it from someone. They brought Andy No on, and Andy No was like really uncomfortable because he didn't want to be like, I guess, like talking to Gavin for whatever reason. So it was like very awkward.
No, I unfortunately I don't get to pay much attention to like these like high level people who all know each other and who do like alternative like broadcasts and stuff. I'm usually focused on like the squalid innards of it.
Yeah, the gutters.
Yeah, more comfortable there.
You're right there, love.
You can't park here, darling.
What do you mean I can't park here?
Well, you've got no parking permit and you'll get towed away. I'm just trying to help you.
Okay, but I live here.
Yeah. If you lived here, you'd have a residence parking permit.
Yeah, but I'm saying I've just moved here.
Really? How can you afford to move? Somebody like you. This is a very nice car. It's filthy. You can understand why I was suspicious of you.
Well, why?
Because if you owned this car, you
But I
would
do own
not
this
let
car.
it get filthy like this.
But yeah, but it's just a dirty car. That's it. Like it
I
don't matter.
know, but the people around here will judge you by a dirty car.
Okay,
Tell you what.
so you're admitting, yeah, you're judging me because my car is dirty.
Yes.
Okay, but then you just said that because I'm a young guy as well.
Yes.
So you're judging me because I'm a young man in a nice car in a nice area and because the car's dirty.
Yes.
And you think that's okay?
Yes. Absolutely. And if you don't want to have to explain yourself all the time, get
but-
yourself a residence parking permit and get your car clean. There are plenty of people around here. If you're earning so much money, then why can't you afford to get one of the local kids to wash this car for you on a regular basis? I can give you some very good contacts.
But
if you like.
it's because the car is black, yeah, it gets dirty fast.
Now, when did you last wash it?
No, maybe a
Come
week
on
ago.
now, when did you last wash it?
It's
You're too
none of your
busy
business.
making loads of money.
No, it's nothing to do with
Don't
that. But it's
bullshit,
none of your
man.
business, though, is it?
Yes, it is actually, because I'm part of the neighborhood watch, and I look out for things like this.
Whoa, watch out, Trayvon.
Oh man, so this is a very polarizing video. People either like love or hate this woman. I'm firmly in the love camp. This is absolutely based, upholding standards. There's a reason you only will get this from somebody that age, because this is something we've completely lost in our modern culture. Is we've adopted this thing of like mind your own business. There was a quote from somebody, I can't remember exactly who said it, and I tried to find it, but I couldn't find it before the show. But it was something like when men stop shining their shoes, that's like the end of civilization, you know, because there used to be a time when a man went out, he was wearing a suit, he had his shoes polished, and then people stopped polishing their shoes, and it was all downhill from there. What do you guys think about that?
I have to agree with
with
you.
like I want to say that's part of industrialization. I want to say that's because like a lot of people move to the city specifically because in the country you always know your neighbors, and like you'll know everybody who like lives in your entire town after a couple years. But then when you move to the city, you have millions of people around you, and you basically never see the same person twice if you're just walking around. And that kind of that really picked up like in the 50s and stuff. It's probably like a converging thing.
Mm-hmm.
So one place I agree with you on the shining shoes. I mean, not necessarily literally shining shoes. Like not everybody needs to walk around
literally
leather shoes.
Literally.
But in general, like just I think people should invest a little bit more in being presentable in general, like just dressing
having
nicer.
standards.
Yeah, and you know what, like I've gone through periods of my life where I have not really given a shit about anything, like how I'm dressed or whatever. Like you go to work and you have to wear your fucking work outfit, but yeah, outside you can just wear grungy t-shirts and stuff like that. And then like I started wearing a little bit nicer clothes, and you just feel like more confident in yourself. People treat you better. It's weird, like that something that little will change, but it's also self-reinforcing in that sort of respect. And then you're like, oh wow, people treat me better when I do this thing, and you start to, I guess, take more and more care of yourself, and I think that's a positive. But where I disagree with you is like, this lady's cute and endearing, and she's not particularly offensive. But the idea of having like a neighborhood standard is like just reinforcing the idea of a homeowners association. And I think homeowners associations are fucking cancer. And I hope all of them die. I hope all of the people running homeowners associations collectively choke on themselves and fall over. I fucking hate them.
What's wrong with homeowners associations?
Have you ever lived in one?
No.
It's like this lady, but given the power of a miniature government to enforce over you. It's fucking awful.
Do you have like a horror story that you can share with us?
I mean, plenty of people have horror stories. I, thank God, have not had to live in a homeowners association. My parents have lived in a couple throughout our lives, but it's just, yeah. So when we lived in a homeowners association down in Houston, Texas, when I was just a wee lad, and my parents painted the house, and they didn't know that they had to get the color approved by the homeowners association. So they painted the house, and the homeowners association's like, oh yeah, no, sorry, those colors not approved. Can't do them. They're like, what? What do you mean? Where's that? It's in the bylaws. You have to do one of these approved colors, or you have to get an exception from the homeowners association.
Based, to
which
be
costs
honest,
money.
I mean, I see how that could be annoying, but what if you paint your house like some rainbow shit or whatever? Like to me, or just like really ugly, like not just like we don't like this color. You know what I mean? Like I understand how there's kind of like the fringe gray areas where it's kind of like what the fuck. But I also think that like there's a good scenario where you're like, yeah, we don't want this ugly ass house in our neighborhood.
Yeah, I get it, but I'm just like I'm not a fan of paying for the privilege to have someone else police you, because that's the other thing with homeowners associations. They charge you a monthly fee for the privilege of living there. And it's
I'm of the opinion that if you owned a house, you wouldn't want to be an eye shot of any other house.
That's how I live.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
I think that if you want to live in like a suburb or like an apartment, if you want to like be a part of that, you have to like it's probably better to have some sort of council that you have some kind of opinion on. But it's not like they can discriminate in any effective way. They just have to say like you can't paint your house you can't have a flagpole that's a certain height. It's kind of trivial. The real issue is the people. Like if you have someone who's like a real stick in the ass and just wants to fuck with you for no reason because of whatever, then they're gonna make your life hell. It's not really the HOA as much as it is having to deal with some fuckhead.
Yeah. I put a poll in the chat, and it's like exactly 2/3 in favor of the based neighborhood watch granny, 1/3 saying she's a cringe Karen.
Yeah, and I mean, this lady's fine. Who cares? It just like the idea of bringing it all into officiality in like a homeowner association. I hate. But someone going by expressing their opinion. And again, she's not particularly offensive or anything.
Yeah.
Who cares? Some lady comes up like, your car's dirty. It's like, okay.
She also, in the longer version of the clip, she offers to like hook him up with a guy who can come by once a week and wash the car that she knows. And it's like, I understand people who are like, I don't want other people in my business, but there's got to be a happy medium. Like there's something like, to me, wholesome and good about just community involvement and just like giving a shit, and being willing to talk to your neighbors and stuff.
If you're in the UK, you should just be expected to be asked for licenses at any given time. I mean, what if you expect?
Do you have your dirty car license?
Parking license. Yeah, no shit. No clean car license. No parking license. He's fucked up already. Should have just stayed at home.
He should have to get a license to clean his car first, though. Like that's what he should.
Well,
have
the guy
to do
that's why she's offering to hook him up with somebody, because he's got his car cleaning license.
Right. It's just, it's a British government agent who comes out and washes the car by hand.
Stand up against the poison.
Why does he
White
look like a grand
supremacists
dragon?
I did my inaugural address to single out as the most dangerous terrorist threat to our homeland is white supremacy.
Everyone just like ecstatically clapping. Like it's so weird, isn't it?
No wonder he's being held hostage by 800 black people behind him. You talk about white supremacy, you bigot piece of shit.
Kill Whitey. Am I right, guys?
Oh
Why
my
did
God,
they always put him in like these sharp lights? Like, look at he's literally set up in like stage lights that are bright and blue. It's like how you would portray like a villain in a Star Wars film to give his epic speech, like this extremely like desaturating blue overtone.
Yeah.
You know what? This is the scene where you want someone to hack the projector that's just above all of them and play that like late 90s speech of Biden where he's just shitting on black people and calling them the worst criminals on the planet. God, that'd be fucking great. Just drop that. Just drop that hot, like with a beat behind it. So
he did not say back in chains. He did not say that, right? Just to be clear.
He did.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he said we're going to put y'all back in chains or something. I don't remember the context. Oh, he was reading offensive comments in like the 80s that were written towards a black mayor. And that's where the N-word quote comes from, is because he read that verbatim. And then he also says, we're going to put y'all back in chains. And that also is a famous thing he said.
Based.
And I'm not saying this because I'm at a black HBCU. I say wherever.
Listen, Nick, I know what you're thinking.
I think I just projected my thoughts into Biden's head and he had to respond. Like, what the hell?
Where I go.
I assume you'll probably be covering this on your show this week, Josh, but can we get a little preview of your thoughts here?
I mean, Wings tried, Boogie didn't. Boogie's like too old. He just got beat. He didn't even try. He swung like once. He didn't even swing. He like pushed him away like a little bit, and then he got fucking slapped around. I'm actually kind of surprised they let it go on as long as it did. But there was at some point like in the second round where he calls it, he hits him, and Boogie just like turns his face away and staggers, and he's just like immobilized. And that's when the ref was like, okay, and people were upset that he called it like in like early into the second round. But it's like if this guy dies because he's like fat and out of shape, and they both have stomach staplings, by the way. I don't think that's too good for your prospects if you're boxing. But it's like if he dies, it's like his career as like a ref is over.
I mean, they had to modify boxing around 3 1-minute rounds is all they had to do this fight. And it's, if you think like what you had to negotiate with the athletics commission of this state, like, no, I know these guys look like they're going to die from a small flight of stairs, but I need you to let them get into the ring and do the most intense physical activity that you could do and swing 80-pound each arms around at each other and possibly, just die on the floor. Like, not from actually getting hit, but from the effort of moving their arms that much. They might just collapse and die in the ring. But I need you to let us do this because the internet wants it. That's great.
Is it? Do you guys think it's possible that a man could be so lazy that he just lets the other guy punch him in the face so that the ref will call it and he doesn't have to spend another 90 seconds standing in the ring?
Look, I don't want to shit on anybody who steps into a ring because, especially like at an advanced age, like I'm 41. The idea of getting into a ring is fucking horrible. Anything goes wrong and you get seriously injured. I won't shit on Boogie for that. I think what I had heard before the fight, Wings is putting in work. He may have a little bit of history or practice in boxing, and he was looking really good. And people who had seen Boogie training, it was not looking like he was getting the best instruction or he wasn't taking the instruction well. And I think that just showed. Like Wings was throwing punches more akin to how a boxer throws punches, and Boogie couldn't do it. For whatever reason. But Boogie doesn't look like he's ever fought anybody in his entire life. So I don't know what either their backgrounds are, but if you try to learn how to fight someone, you're 45.
He usually fights with his gun. Frank Hassel can attest to that.
That would have been great. If Boogie
should have brought his gun
out and shot him.
They should have done it like pro wrestling where he's
just
like,
look,
look,
the
I'm going to come
Joker,
up.
but in real life. Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to come out with a cap gun. I'm going to fire it off into the distance. Like, it'll be funny. Do a big kayfabe thing. That would have been funny. They should have done that.
Do you guys have any thoughts on the ethics or the morality of this kind of freak show spectacle being done for money?
They got paid tens of thousands of dollars. I don't feel bad for either of them. Yeah. And I know I have a feeling someone said this in his thread, and I believe that they're correct. I think that Boogie is going to come out at some point and say, like, I found it really difficult to fight because I'm such an empath that I just can't strike another person. I'm such a non-violent, nice guy that I could do it with the training dummy, but when it came to hitting another person, wow, I just couldn't do it. I'm just I'm Mr. Rogers, and it's just like, ugh. I really don't like Boogie. I was hoping that Wings would win like he did, and I'm happy for him.
Wings really did give him a beating. He did legit give him a beating.
That would be the gayest thing Boogie could say. I hope he doesn't do that. I hope he says, you know what? I trained. I went out there. I got beat in the ring because Wings trained harder and fought better. Like, just own that. Like, that's the whole thing to me. Mm-hmm. That's how fighting should be.
Yeah, sportsmanship. Yeah. Lose
the ethics
gracefully.
But the ethics of this one, I don't know about putting any guys in that horrific of shape in the ring. I think that's a terrifying prospect, but hey,
yeah, they could literally die is the thing. You know, it's all fun and games till Boogie shoots the other guy.
There it is. That was the right call from the ref.
But as for the real last thing, just as for the like freak show aspect of it, I'm all for freak shows. I don't give a shit. If people will, pay to see something and the acts are paid, who cares?
Yeah.
Again, making sure that they're liable if these guys fucking die and they negligently let them do that. Great. But other than that, I mean, I don't care at all.
So freak show is good, but maybe draw the line at like snuff films.
Well, if you pay the dying actor enough, it's okay.
Did you guys, if you guys only knew how bad it could actually be, did you guys see this clip on Twitter or like the original version of this edit? Do you guys know what we're looking at here?
Oh, I was going to say, this is an edit, right?
This is like an edit, yes. This is an edit. The original clip is not in slow motion, and it doesn't have a Joker filter. But other than that, it's not. Well, the music as well.
Oh, it's not green screened?
No. Okay, hold on. I got the original here. We gotta.
Well, I don't know I don't understand the context.
That's Destiny.
Okay,
the woman in the back is his wife, and the man is Destiny's wife's boyfriend.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. This is actually technically also an edit, but it's so much better than the original. Hold on, give me 1 sec here. I gotta pull this up. Yeah, and so like for anybody who doesn't know, Destiny and his wife, they are in an open relationship, and so this, I guess, is kind of just par for the course. But it's just the look on his face that makes it so funny.
Why are they filming this?
Well, they're streaming. They're live streaming.
Oh.
Okay.
He really says that he does
Mel
not care.
time.
He has a quote that's like
Mel time. It's Mel time.
I don't care if my wife goes out and fucks other guys because I know at the end of the day she's going to come back to me because I'm a cool fucking guy. And that's like his defense of it. And it's just like, it's so skeevy and uncomfortable.
Look, I am not a proponent of open relationships.
Oh, I messed it up. Hold on a sec. I was changing it because I did it. You guys couldn't hear the audio. Let me do it so that you can actually hear the audio here.
No, we gotta. Uh-oh.
Okay.
Mel time.
Why did I say this?
Mel time. It's Mel time.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Still can't hear the
Come
audio.
to talk with you again.
I can.
Because a vision softly
It's just Sound of Silence playing.
while I was sleeping.
Yeah, he doesn't look happy about it.
I don't know how you could be, man. I don't know.
Still remains.
I mean, it's one thing to live this lifestyle, which I personally would not recommend in the slightest, but it's another thing to do it so publicly when you know everyone is just ruthlessly, like he's in his mind as this is happening, he's thinking about this edit. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy in a way because he's like, oh, fuck, everyone's going to make fun of me. And then it just makes the video worse.
I think he's also upset because I think he feels that the guy is doing it intentionally to fuck with him, and she's going along with it knowing that it's going to fuck with him, and he just has to deal with it, which is also like really painful.
Now, someone in the chat said, if you know the lore, you know that those two aren't actually hooking up. So I don't really know. But I don't fucking know anything about it at all.
Anon sent $10 in.
I mean,
right
my
what
thing
does
is, look, if
Josh
people want to do
KF
open relationships or whatever,
tuned
that's
into Mahdi the
that's
other
up
day,
to
and
them.
he's pulling I'm not political routine, but his entire persona
not on
is
my
parasitizing
recommendation
off the
list.
middling
I
cloud he obtained from
know people
days.
in open
Zero
relationships
loyalty.
and seeing the
KF
roller
is
coasters that they
retarded
fucking
time
go
wasting
through,
a drama.
as they're like okay with it and then not okay with it and then okay with it again is kind of horrifying to watch. But you know, again, it's not on me to put that on anybody else. I don't fucking care.
Yeah. Okay. So I got a power chat, like text to speech while you were going there, Nick, and that's my bad because I know you guys can't hear that. I'm going to deactivate the text to speech, but I will read any super chats at the end of the show, you guys, and including the one that just played. So, hold on. All right. All right, so I'm turning off the text-to-speech thing, but if you guys want to send a super chat, streamlabs.com/LPOriginalG, powerchat.live/LPOriginalG, and we'll read the questions at the end of the show. Yeah, sorry about that, everyone. All right.
Besties, I'm literally leaving the club early because men are fucking shit. I'm in the fucking drive-thru of the Jack in the Box on my way home.
I still can't hear it.
And to go
Can you not hear it?
No, when I look at the screen, I just see sex wars, and then there's like a infinite loading thing. Should I just refresh like the string?
Oh yeah, that sounds like a bandwidth problem. Try.
Yeah, pop out and pop back in, maybe. This thing,
Gorlock
creature is just giving the internet so much comedy.
Is that
can
better?
you see that giant thing, Josh?
I can. I think I remember. Is this the Troon?
Gorlock the Destroyer
from the Whatever podcast? Yeah.
This is Gorlock the Destroyer, as they will forever be known.
Through the Jack in the Box on my way home.
You don't need to be
to go fucking eat my feelings. Like, what the fuck? I I'm literally a fucking 10. This bastard doesn't see it.
The 10th planet, maybe. You fucking monster.
I posted this on my Facebook page and it got like literally like 10 million impressions. It just went like super viral. And the comments were so savage. It was all like 10 on the Richter scale, you know, or like maybe 10 individual ones combined into a person. Shit like that.
That's I mean everything I see from this person is either like the saddest creature that's ever existed or the funniest comedian that has pulled a bit in history. I don't know. But it's all gold. I loved when they were on the Whatever podcast, actually, because I said this on my show, but so these chicks go on the Whatever podcast, right? And they're all these like club girls who are like 22. Most of them are super cute in that entirely specifically curated way. And they all say like the dumb stuff. But you know, they all go on there and they're like, I'm gonna be the girl who's going to show the Whatever podcast in their audience
put them
that
in
women
their
are
place,
valuable.
yeah.
Right? Like I'm going to go on there and I'm going to bring my statistics and my cool education. I'm going to show them what's up. And I'm going to somehow convince the like red pill community that none of this is true. And they sit down and then in stumbles this creature and plops next to him in a chair. And you know, from that point on that nothing you say matters. All of the gravity is pulling straight towards that thing, and that will be the focus of the show forever. And nothing any of these girls. So this one destroyed the experience of everybody else at the table that day, and that made me so happy.
Also shielded them from criticism that they might have otherwise received, though, right? It's looking good by comparison. And one thing I'll say for Gorlock is he's kind of passing. Like you wouldn't necessarily know that that's a male if no one told you.
When they're that fat, they just become amorphic blobs. They stop having sex characteristics in any part of their body or face, and it only passes because it's like anybody that fat just kind of becomes not male or female. They just become like fat.
Yeah, I agree. And you can imagine that there's like a hot chick stuffed somewhere in that gullet that she ate.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
No, that she consumed and is like digesting, pre-digesting in that turkey goblet thing. I don't know what that's called.
Oh boy,
bastard.
I was like, oh, I had sex in a graveyard that one time. But I don't even think that's that bad because I was gay in the Midwest, and you know, sometimes you gotta get creative. It's like not a big deal. Sometimes you gotta get a little spooky with your location. Right? Also, listen, if you didn't want a twink to get railed against your tombstone, you should have gotten cremated.
All right.
My problem with this is it was cripplingly unfunny.
Yes.
I just like the laughter, like just looking at this and hearing the laughter. It doesn't sync up with like what he's saying, but I'm still laughing.
Here's my 10,000 IQ take is that this person just proved that banging a trap is gay. Because he said in his youth, I was gay. I was a twink getting railed up against your tombstone, you know, by another man. And you can't change your sexual orientation. That would be conversion therapy. So once gay, always gay. So now living life as a woman, but if you have sex with that's scientifically, technically gay by their own admission. Am I missing any? You're the expert, Josh, so you tell me if I'm missing anything.
Anybody who says that traps aren't gay is just
anime.
Gay. Yeah.
Anime.
Like it has never made sense. I don't understand like the whole. I don't even understand the argument. It just seems like a joke, but people take it seriously, I guess.
It is kind of a compelling argument for cremation. I don't really like the thought of a twink getting railed up against my tombstone.
Some people get both. They get cremated. They still have a memorial tombstone.
There you go.
Yeah, see, unless they're inspected.
Literally not my fault. Thank you. Thank you.
Fuck this. I don't speak whatever language that is, but I assume it was holy fuck.
Yeah, that's freaky. He lived, presumably, because the footage got out. That's so scary, though.
He had to climb out of that like a mountain goat.
I heard he got rescued. I don't know the exact details, but there was some kind of rescue mission to get him out.
Yeah, I think you wear like a locator thing, and you have an emergency signal.
Oh, that makes sense.
If you do the mount like that,
The crazy stuff.
Skiing.
Yeah,
that always seems cool, but that shit literally terrifies me. The idea that like you'll see the videos, like this guy ended up in a cave and gets stuck on the side. You know, good for him. There's other ones where someone's just like upside down in the snow, fucking buried, and someone comes along and digs them out. They like see a ski sticking up, and they're
yeah,
like,
we played that one a couple weeks ago. Yeah,
Oh,
people in the
geez.
live chat are saying that it's French, and what he said was something along the lines of like, "I'm an idiot." When I was like 7 years old, we went to Glacier National Park, which I want to say is in Montana, but don't quote me on that.
Pretty sure.
And they let you just like go up and walk on this glacier, and it's very like, it was, I mean, this was like, 30 years ago, but so I'm walking around. My mom took me and my two brothers. My dad wasn't there, and I slip on the ice and I start sliding, and there's these massive crevices everywhere, and I slide like right toward, and I stop like right before falling in. I'm freaking out. I'm like crying, and some random dude, there's like a bunch of people walking around. Some guy came and like got me out of there. It was like so scary. And I just like, after that, I was always like, it's crazy how they would just let you do that. Because it's like super slippery ice and there's these massive crevices. I don't know if it's still like that.
When I was, I think it was 15 or 16, I did a mission trip with our church, and we went to Colorado, and we were building a switchback on a trail to make it easier on horses to go up this mountain. Which I don't know how this is a mission trip at all, but whatever. Christians are weird. And one of the days we did a hike. It was a non-work day. We did a hike like up a mountain, and we found this patch of snow. And it was generally warm, but we found this one patch of snow kind of in a crevice. And so they're like, oh, let's go. We all run over and have a snowball fight. And then we noticed like at the end of this patch of snow was like a 300-foot cliff. And if anyone had fallen and like slipped and fell, like they would have just slid right off into oblivion. And we looked and we're like, well, that was stupid. And like the counselors and our chaperones, nobody even thought about it or cared. It was like, oh, well.
Those were the good old days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, can I get a venti water cup, please?
Yeah, is that all?
Yes, ma'am.
And then here you go.
Thank you. Oh, it slipped out my hand. I'm so sorry.
No problem.
I'm sorry.
No,
that won't happen again.
Those are two new racist.
It is like the obvious surface level take is like, that guy's a dick, fuck him or whatever. But I think there's a kind of a deeper thing that this says about society. Like, you guys remember a few years ago, Starbucks took massive shit because two black dudes wanted to use the bathroom, and they were like, no, you got to buy something. And then they were like made a fuss, and the cops got called, and it was like a whole thing where they like gave them like scholarships and like implemented like training for all the staff and everything. And so now you're in this look at the situation. This woman who's got this shitty, $8 an hour job where she has to deal with retards and stand on her feet for 8 hours a day. And some guy comes up and throws, and she knows he didn't drop that first class, but what is she going to do? What is she going to do?
Is there any possibility that this guy came up and said, look, I need this shit to go viral on TikTok. I'll give you guys $200 if we do this gag where you give me cups of water and I throw it at your
What
bullshit.
kind of liberal wishful thinking is this?
You can tell by their reactions.
They probably, hey, Nick, they probably said the N-word when he came up to the counter.
I hope so. Gee, when I worked in retail, I would have no fucking patience. Like the way she looks, it's fine.
You hope so? You hope they say the N-word every time a black person comes up? That's pretty base.
Yeah.
that would be a funnier video. Walk up to like a Starbucks counter full of white women and be like, yeah, that's my name. I need to write that on the cup and just see what they do.
Yeah.
That would break the conditioning.
Boy.
Like early 2000s, that was like, it was like a hacker based
reboot.
Reboot.
Yeah.
It looks like that, but it's like in the year 2023. How do you even possibly achieve graphics that look like this in 2023? You can just type into ChatGPT what you want and it comes out better.
Yeah, that was a cool show, man. Warning, incoming game. But like every week now we have something like this on the progress report where it's a TV show, a cartoon like aimed at children that has this indoctrination. I mean, this is fun. There's a scene later with like Optimus Prime talking about pronouns and shit. Like I could understand if it was like some kind of like government. I'm not saying it would be good, but I'm just saying if this was like some kind of like special thing that they made for like to be shown in schools or whatever, I'd be like, I could kind of understand it. But it's like this is like the show. Like this is entertainment. You know what I mean? You see Optimus Prime talking about pronouns. It's fucked up.
This weird. Oh, go ahead, Josh.
I was gonna say it's like when you're in elementary school and the police officer comes and talks about getting molested and how if you're getting molested you should come talk to the police after the class, and then you have like a very awkward segment like that. The government has to do to explain things versus like you have a show about getting molested.
Yeah, that's just like on Saturday morning cartoons. Yeah,
it's just on it's on Cartoon Network.
The fucking the cringe aspect of anyone in attempting to pass off as normal conversation, someone going, my pronouns are they them. Like that is I cannot. This new lexicon is so fucking weird. I never would have considered in my entire life walking up to someone and be like, hey, what's up? My name's Nick. My pronouns are he, him. Like that's how I'm going to need you to address me. It is so awkward and forced and indoctrinating and hideous to me. It's so unnatural to conversation to like identify how the other person must address you if they're going to use a pronoun is weird. But they're trying to like make it a thing. And they're trying so hard that they're forcing it into, I'd say popular media, but I can't imagine this being popular. It looks like
you know what's weird about that is that it will never work, because if you ever study like a language, a foreign language, you know that there are so many conventions that are caused just by people being extremely lazy that there is no way that you're going to enforce something that's so obtuse and anti-lazy. It's like hard work trying to figure out what the fuck these people want to be called. So it'll never stick just because of how people are.
Yeah, it's very, very weird and contrived. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't take it. And they put it in shows as if people normally talk like this, but maybe in their weird circles they do, right? Like
they do.
Maybe
yeah.
The writer's room all gets together and has their day zero pronoun meeting.
Yeah, no, dude. If you, I know you don't use like Slack, but I have to like join Slack circles to like talk to developers when I'm trying to because you have to figure out weird shit. So I have to like talk directly to developers sometimes to figure out what the fuck, how their system works, because it's not documented. And on Slack, on GitHub, on like all these different professional platforms, you are like forced now to put in your pronouns, and then it like shows up under your name, like regardless of like if you put a picture there, if your name is Josh, then it should be obvious like how to refer to somebody.
Right.
But it's just like a part of the culture now. And all these people, they live in like this disgusting little bubble, and they literally sit there and they think like people not doing this are backwards, like hillbilly bumfucks who just don't understand like their enlightened position on gender and shit. It's just like the biggest fuck you ever when you try to have to like integrate into their world for a little bit.
One of my buddies is a software developer and was cataloging the progress of the whole like removal of certain racial terms and gendered terms from coding.
Oh, yeah.
And like
slave master, etc.
It's insane to like see that's like you can't have like black hat and white hat policies and stuff like that or like approaches. I was like, what the fuck are you talking
It's allow list and deny list now. And the one that fucked me up is I was following instructions off some documentation and I was getting an error. I'm thinking, I'm following the instructions perfectly. What the fuck could possibly be happening? And I figured out at some point while staring at it just angrily that, oh, it's saying master. I bet you it's main now and not master because this documentation is like 2 years old. And then I tried main and then, of course, it works. And it's just like they're breaking shit to accomplish that. There was a time like a little while ago, like a month ago, where Reddit went down for like 8 hours because they had changed all the branches in some software to main instead of master. And they just didn't know that when they updated the shit. So it broke all of Reddit for like an entire day. And
That's hilarious.
It's fucking obnoxious.
Yeah. Also, how can a robot be non-binary if it's programmed in a programming language?
It's okay. I know I'm safe when I'm with my friends or other non-binary people. People
in
who
parentheses,
are,
she was not safe.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have assumed.
I always knew my pronouns felt right, but what a wonderful word for a wonderful experience.
It's that like we got to sell it to you as something better. Being non-binary is wonderful, children. Like it really is kind of evil at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm just imagining programming a robot to be that fucking gay. I'm just imagining the Chinese robot coming in and kicking its ass. Because the part of its computer programming dedicated to gender is instead dedicated to like kung fu. It can completely beat its ass.
So to Jen Psaki circle back to us discussing Reboot. If you guys remember the last season of Reboot, so in the first season you got the little fucking kid character that's in there. I don't remember their names.
Yeah,
but he's
I remember Dot Matrix was the girl's name.
Yeah, and so there was like the main guy, and then there was like the kid guy, and I can't remember his name. But the last season, he comes back, and it's like a gritty fucking progression that has happened. He's big and jacked. He's got like one eye that's been ripped out and replaced with like a bionic. You can tell he's seen some shit. Like that's the stark difference between 90s cartoons and this Transformers bullshit where like they're sitting there discussing pronouns and gender. This man's like, I have seen war, I have faced it and stood defiant, and now I'm here to save the fucking planet from Gigabyte, who is coming back to wreck shit. Yeah. And it's like he's not worried about Gigabyte's pronouns. Motherfucker needs to go.
Yeah. We used to be a proper country. People in the chat saying Bob and Enzo were the names, by the way.
Yeah, that's right. When Enzo comes back, he's like, he has been through the shit.
Grizzled.
He's great. Yeah.
It's oddly musical. It's oddly kind of catchy.
I can't tell if this is like some third world shithole country or if this is just Florida. I would believe either. If you told me that this was Haiti or somewhere in Pensacola, I would believe it.
He was a newscaster, very nice man. She called him an ape. Happens to be African American. Called him an ape. The judge wouldn't allow us to put that in. Her dog or her cat was named Vagina. The judge wasn't allowed to put that in. All of these things, but with her, they can put in anything. Access,
this
Hollywood.
Was a jury of 9 people who found you liable of sexual abuse. Do you think that will deter women from voting for you?
No, I don't think so, because I think the whole thing, just so you understand, ready? I never met this woman. I never saw this woman. This woman said, I met her at the front door of Bergdorf Goodman, which I rarely go into other than for a couple of charities. I met her in the front door. She was about 60 years old then. This is like 22, 23 years ago. I met her in the front door of Bergdorf Goodman. I was immediately attracted to her, and she was immediately attracted to me. And we had this great chemistry. We're walking into a crowded department store. We had this great chemistry, and a few minutes later, we end up in a room, a dressing room of Bergdorf Goodman, right near the cash register. And then she found out there are locks on the door. So she said, I found one that was open. She found one. She learned this at trial. She found one that was open. What kind of a woman meets somebody and brings them up, and within minutes you're playing hanky-panky in the dressing room, okay? I don't know if she was married then or not. John Johnson, I feel sorry for you, John Johnson.
Oh man, this is such a this whole town hall was such a return to form for Trump. It was like, oh yeah, I remember why I used to like this guy.
Yeah, I mean, when he's allowed to just be himself, he's endearing, he's hilarious, and he's so just normal. I mean, he has his own unique manner of speaking, of course, but the way he describes stuff is so plain and straightforward. It reminds you exactly why everybody voted for him.
Yeah.
How he's able to pull this off.
All joking aside though, the lawsuit is a travesty. The fact that the jury found him liable for this crazy fucking woman, the whole thing's insane.
It was a Manhattan jury, wasn't it?
Yeah,
New York.
Yeah, and
it's
fucked. It's Southern District of New York. It's a disaster in general. But there's one other some critical things on a legal aspect about this about the jury verdict is that it's nonsensical. Okay, so her story is that Trump raped her, full on. Pushed her against the wall, grabbed her vaginal mound externally, and then pushed his dick at least halfway into her, if not all the way. She couldn't remember, which is just her vain and petty attempt at a small dick joke, right? That's if people didn't get that, that's what she's saying when she's I don't know if it was half in or all the way. I couldn't tell. So she says this story, and the jury does not believe that he pushed his dick into her because they found him not liable for rape. But apparently the rest of the story is true, according to the jury. So then when Trump says the whole thing's a hoax, that's defaming her. It's well, okay, first of all, if the whole thing's a hoax because he didn't rape her, but you found he didn't rape her, how do you find him liable for defamation? And how would you come to the determination that she only lied about the rape, but not about the rest of the story? How do you discern that a penis didn't enter her, but his hand was definitely grabbing her vagina? It's a nonsensical outcome that was probably a split the baby with some hold. I was I can't believe he would actually rape her. And they're well, how about just this? We'll give her the $5 million because he fucked her life over or something, allegedly, even though she's probably doing better now than she ever has. So I'm not sure how his defamation, quote unquote, hurt her in any way. It's a really weird outcome. But one last thing, and sorry for rambling on, but just go look at all the fucking Me Too stories, and they're all like this. And that's what Trump just highlighted so well. When you tell the story back on how this stuff happened, it's always fucking ludicrous.
Yeah, it's like a Harlequin romance novel, It's
how what kind of woman? So you walk in, you make eye contact with someone, and then immediately you're in a dressing room getting plunged, and apparently you didn't like it. It's wait, so she takes him into a dressing room, finds an unlocked one, drags him in there, and then how is he the aggressor here? None of it makes sense, but that's the story, and it's all these Me Too stories are like this. It's well, I met him. He was super charming and great. And then I just went back to his hotel room at 4 a.m. Because he gave me his key card and I met him in there. And I just thought we were going to have candy. That's what was going to happen. And suddenly, he's undoing his bathrobe and saying, listen, baby, you need to get down. And I was just taken by shock that this would happen at 4 a.m. after 12 drinks. Oh, fucking come on.
Yeah, it's a weird mix between Harlequin romance and a penthouse letter.
Yeah, it's so fucking strange.
Think of it.
I know you're recounting what she said, but Mr. President.
Let me just, if I could, because you asked the question,
This was a
just so you
jury,
understand,
though.
if I was walking in at the park, because I was very famous then, and I owned the Plaza Hotel right next door, and I owned buildings around it, I'm not going into a dressing room of a crowded department store. Then I say, if she was being raped, and by the way, they said she wasn't raped. Okay, that was her charge. It wasn't.
They found
they
that you
did.
sexually
They found.
abused her.
What? Say what? They did. They said he didn't rape her, and
They did-
I didn't do anything else either. You know
They
what?
did
Because I
say
have
that.
no idea who the hell she is.
But Mr.
I don't
President,
know who this woman
can I
is.
ask you, given your recounting?
I'm gonna be real with you. I am sick of Trump. I wish that he hadn't have come back. I know that he was like funny clown man, but after January 6th and after like net neutrality and all that shit, I'm just like, I really wish that he had passed it on to somebody else. I wouldn't have to hear of him anymore, because the 4 years of like nonstop media was rough. And now that he's back in and he's getting charged with shit, and it's like, I know he's not going to win presidency. I can just feel it. There's no way. I'm just like, I'm really over the whole Trump thing at this point.
I think you're probably right. I think he's going to have a real tough time winning, and I think that him being the nominee is going to be detrimental to the Republican Party's chances. I mean, I hope he wins over Biden, but I really have been skeptical of his ability to actually pull enough votes from Republicans to pull out a victory in 2024.
Wait, is this Hila Klein?
Yeah, but wait, Josh, who would be your pick? Like who would be the guy?
Oh, I don't care. I have no suggestions on this. I just want to say I don't want to hear about Trump anymore. Like, maybe he can run but not do any public appearances and win that way. Like, I don't know. At some point, by the way, after this clip, I have a special request that you play this video. If this is, I think this is Hila. Yeah, it is. It's Hila Klein. Okay, backdrop on Hila Klein. I'm assuming that they're going to make her over to look like a clown. Hila Klein is married to Ethan Klein, who brings porn stars onto his podcast, and he openly humiliates his wife and the mother of his children. I think he has multiple children. They met in a Holocaust memorial in Tel Aviv. This is not a joke. She worked for the IDF as a soldier or some shit. And then now he brought her to LA, and he openly ridicules her and like, what's the opposite of emasculating? He does that to her. And now she has like this weird crisis of identity where she keeps trying to look like Bella Delphine with like this weird makeup and hair and style and shit. So that's here's your preamble on Hila Klein.
Josh, I don't have that clip ready. Do you want to? Can you like link me on Telegram or something? Preferably not to Kiwi Farms because I don't have Tor.
No, just you just have to pull this up. It's on YouTube. You can't pull up YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
Did you drop it in the private chat, Josh?
Yeah.
Oh, it's on. Oh, sorry, I didn't see. I didn't see
too.
that. Okay, there. Okay, we'll play that after. You know, this clip of Hila is fairly benign, but I know you're a fan. That's why I included it, Josh.
I'm a big fan. Yes. Oh, that's so sad. She is like 40 something. She's had multiple kids, I'm pretty sure. And it's like she has to like compete with like these 20-year-old porn stars that her husband's obsessed with. That's like the saddest fucking thing ever.
Yeah.
So I don't watch anything by these people. When you say like he brings women on and humiliates his wife, like, is it just because he's bringing them on, or does he do something specific to humiliate her? Like, give me a little context. I'm just kind of curious.
I mean, he just brings like OnlyFans
This
whores
is
onto
probably
his show and like celebrates in front of her. This is a video by Sven Stoffels, who does live streams that you may be interested in. He also made this animation, which is probably one of the greatest animations ever. It's dedicated to Hila during her service in IDF, protecting the great nation of Israel from all threats, domestic and abroad. We salute our IDF and our greatest nation, Israel.
Okay, it's just looping, right? Okay.
I didn't know that Palestine hired such short terrorists, but that's awesome. I mean, I'm glad that she was defending from those evil,
they're dangerous
Palestinians.
They come at you with these really, really disgusting, improv weapons like butter knives and shit. And there's these, like it's all proven too. These documented pictures of terrorists with knives placed right next to them so that they can be photographed. It's
Did they just so the IDF collaborated with the NYPD on that one?
Yeah, exactly.
not a fan of the Halo Klein style there. I don't like that at all.
Why is my audio
I don't think it looks good
not
on her.
synced? Okay, let me try this again. Hopefully the audio is resynced here.
And welcome to the Renaissance Fair. My name is King Aragag.
Wait, sorry.
And I was wondering if you'd like to be my princess for the day. I am very interested in your beauty finding.
Can you actually just take a photo of us?
Photo? What is that? I don't actually know what that is because it is the year 1309. What is this? Some sort of mirror into the future?
Oh, that's cringe.
I laughed so hard the first time I saw this.
You have to laugh when you watch this because otherwise it hurts.
The look on her face here is like genuine concern. And like, how did I get out of this?
Holy shit, she looks like from this framing, which is really unkind to her. She looks like that actor from Seinfeld who did the voice of Kronk from The Emperor's New Groove.
Dude, nobody looks good from this angle.
No, I know, but it makes her look like she has the manliest fucking jaw ever. It's kind of funny. Like
that's because she's contorting her face in pain, trying to get away from this guy.
Oh yeah, dude. The Renaissance festivals are full of like fucking weirdos. It's great. I know because I'm there sometimes, so I know there's weird people.
It was the Hindenburg disaster of TV news. CNN must fire its CEO, Chris Licht, for an abomination unprecedented in American television history last night. Its new owners must sell the network, whose brand they irreparably destroyed last night. E. Jean Carroll needs to sue Trump again for the new defamatory comments he made about her last night. And moderator Caitlin Collins needs to sue her agent for ending her career last night.
There was like a ton of clips like that. There was a ton of people spurting out about the CNN town hall. I just included
Keith Olbermann is like a secret thing that I have like a long-term interest in, because when I was like a teenager, I had like a spare TV in my computer room, and I would always play MSNBC, and I would watch Rachel Maddow, Keith Olbermann, and Lock Up Raw. Those are like the three things that they play that I would actually watch.
What's Lock Up Raw?
Lock Up Raw is this amazing video series about the prison system and how the United States does not run a sort of real rehabilitation system for criminals. We run a poo-poo pee-pee rape dungeon where we rape everybody into insanity so that they can never re-enter society functional again.
Okay, so you
that
watched,
aired right after Keith Olbermann.
So you watched a bunch of male prisoners, Keith Olbermann and Rachel Maddow. So you were only watching dudes?
Yes, basically.
Okay. Just
I just
Little
like Keith
sus,
Olbermann's
Josh.
I liked his way of speaking, and I liked how, like, I don't know, how he wrote out what his diatribes and shit. And then of course my politics completely changed over years, and now seeing him in like, 15 years after the fact, and like how insane he's gotten, it's just really crazy because he's completely fucking lost it. He always seems like he's one Trump day away from having a heart attack.
He is insane, but there's also like a market for that. Like there's a market for being deranged about Trump. You know what I mean? There's all those people like that Jeff
He failed at
guy
that,
on
though.
Twitter and shit like that.
Every so often I would check, because he did his own thing on YouTube during the Trump administration where he had like his own YouTube show. I don't even remember what the fuck it was called, but it was so deranged, just like so filled with like condensed seething at all times, and it never achieved any kind of notoriety. It was absolute shit. Nobody watched it.
Forcibly abusing and sexually touching, defamation. You defamed her. You defame everybody. You fat fucking no good cocksucking miserable motherfucker.
Wait, you just defamed him
and first,
by your
we have to
standards.
salute E. Jean Carroll. You fought. As Pig Dick Donald Trump would say, you fought like a dog to get what's right. Salute you, and I am sorry for everything you've been through. Now back.
You don't know Michael Rappaport?
Oh, look, I don't know these. I know the name, but I don't fucking know what these people
They all
look
look
like.
so old.
They all look so fucking.
This guy was the Nazi in Higher Learning.
When can the boomers just die? I'm so sick of these people.
I think he's Gen X, technically. I could be wrong, but
fuck them too.
To you fat fuck. You were finally found guilty, and there's so much more you've been guilty of, you fat sloppy cocksucker, you.
Be sloppy. Why hasn't he been found guilty?
You were found guilty in New York, where you're from. Only this could happen to you, you fuck. Only this could happen to you.
No, it's
because
happened
you're
to
a
millions
no
of
good,
people.
sexually assaulting, pussy grabbing motherfucker. And now
Someone in chat asked, is he about to jump?
The pussy finally grabbed back. The
be
pussy
so lucky.
finally grabbed back and got you.
Wait, the pussy finally grabbed at Michael. If you never had that happen, it's fucking great. Jesus. The level of like unhinged that has happened from this interview, and I think it's what you and I were saying earlier, LP. It's like Trump gets in front of the camera, and this is what they're so mad about. Is CNN put him in front of the camera, and again, and like I know Josh is tired of him, and I know a lot of people are, and that's fine, but he's eminently likable, like for this huge swath of America, and it was a reminder. And he does so well in these damn town hall events. And they threw this dumb chick to the wolves. She was not ready for an interview with Donald Trump where he wasn't going to put up with her like, well, that's a lie. It's like, no, it wasn't. Listen, you don't even understand. And I know it's because you're pretty. It's because you're young. I'll grab you in the bathroom later. But he'll just go right through it. And he'd steamroll over her when he wanted to get a point across. And he wasn't going to be pushed around on CNN by anybody. And you would have to get a really strong personality to actually compete with Trump in that space. And most people can't do it. CNN knows that. They know that even presidential candidates cannot sit on a stage with him. And it doesn't matter if what he's saying is true or false, because it hits home with so many people. And so Michael Rappaport, Keith Olbermann, these guys are pissed because it exposes just how in tune he is with a big swath of middle America, and he terrifies them.
I don't even know if it's like he's in tune. It's just that he's funny. You can, like he says, when you're famous, you can do whatever they let you do it. But it's really if you're funny and you can make people laugh, you can probably get away with literally anything because people will always assume the best about you. That is a life hack. If you're someone and everyone hates you and you're like a miserable guts, like grumpy guts, just become funny, and then you'll have more friends.
That's what I always say to the incels: just be funny. That's the one thing they can't like complain about, because anybody can be funny. I have two thoughts when I see a clip like this. My first thought is always, do people like this really think he sexually assaulted her, or do they just not care and they just see it as like a propaganda opportunity? Because I find it hard to believe people really think, but then they could just be that stupid. I don't know. And then the other thing I think is, how come they never, if the jury's verdict is like such gospel, how come they never like say, why did she lie about getting raped? You know, that's a pretty serious thing to lie about. The jury said he didn't rape her, so she must have lied. So, you know, you shouldn't lie about getting raped.
That there wasn't enough evidence for a rape conviction,
that's true,
but there was for the other one.
And
0% of people have looked into this case. It's just that they're gonna. It's team politics. It always is.
The other aspect of the thing is so remember, sexual assault or sexual battery is rape to them anyway. So it doesn't matter what the particulars are, because they'll just overlook the fact that he wasn't found liable for rape, like that didn't happen, because all the headlines are Trump found liable or guilty for sexual assault and defamation, right? Like, so it's like, aha, he did rape her. That's because that's the trigger, is that all of these things are equal. And in fact, you know, if he would have just misgendered her, that would have been akin to rape anyway. So literally anything that he did is reinforcing. And I don't know if they care if this event actually happened, because listen to what Michael Rappaport is saying. You're guilty of so much more, much more than this. So it doesn't matter if he did this thing. This is the representative rape that Trump is guilty of all other rapes, and it's brought under this umbrella. He is finally brought to justice here by this brave, heroic woman, and they don't care if it's completely fabricated because they know he has raped.
Yeah, this still frame is raping me, so let's move on.
Right by your shriveled up old balls. Woo!
365 days. What? Like, why has it been a year of girlhood and still no tits? That's day one, okay? If I'm transitioning to a dude, day one I'm getting a cock. And I'm getting the biggest one you can find. Like, go into the back room, get me something black, okay? I have something to prove here. Why no tits for Dylan? I don't understand.
Can we get a phenotype check?
He's a man!
Phenotype check.
Tomorrow! Uh-oh. We have one of those. I figured. No, it's all good. We can all have different beliefs. It's okay. Some of us can believe in reality and some of us can't. This is America. We should have different beliefs. It's all good. It's all good. Binary, we didn't have bisexual, we didn't have as many labels. It was just like, oh, you're not bisexual, you're just fun at parties. She's just a good time. Yeah, just like the real Princeton, I've let in some people I shouldn't have.
Damn, look at
some people because they were real.
Damn.
Oh my God.
Holy
I let in
shit.
some people just because they were
Look at that hair. What the fuck?
They're going to have to add
They can
ballast
all be
to that
white,
side
right?
of the club.
You have to see yourself represented in the pamphlets, or you can't, right? Did you see
The
yourself?
waiter walks out with a tray, like a serving tray of lead.
Is that the best you can do?
We need kilograms.
Oh my God, I'm so sad. Make sure she gets home safe. I don't want those women to get harpooned in the neck on their way to their cars. I'm worried about their safety. There's poachers out there. They're gonna want their tusks. They were fat though, and that did help.
Okay,
That's a great line.
I don't get like I've never understood getting up and storming out of a live show like this is offensive. Like the fucking
I also
stampede
don't,
of Will
well,
the Beast.
Yeah, I don't get how people like that kind of don't know what they're in for. Like you don't look up the comedian before you go or anything. It's kind of weird.
Well, this is like a local venue. You just see it's like stand-up night. You're like, okay, whatever. It's a female comedian. How offensive can she possibly be? And then you're getting called fat as you like leave.
Don't get harpooned there, fatty. Shit.
It's weird because like I did a live show. I did my first live show in Vegas earlier this year, and I didn't have anyone checking tickets. Like I sold tickets, and people are coming up. They're like, "Nick, no one checked my ticket." I'm like, "What retard is going to come into this like thing? Only people who specifically know who I am." So when I think of like Chrissy doing shows, and I probably have to think about this differently, but I figure if you're going to a show at a place like where there's a headlining act, that you'd look up the act and you know who it was that you're buying tickets for. But maybe I'm the weirdo, I guess.
No, I would look. I wouldn't want to accidentally walk in on a Hannah Gadsby show. You know what I'm saying?
And when it comes to neighbors, India has been particularly unlucky. If Pakistan is a ticking time bomb, China is a source of perpetual provocation. Let me show you the latest example.
That analogy
a
didn't
racist
work for
social
me.
media trend targeting India. Look at this. These are posts from Weibo, from an official account of the Chinese government.
Don't laugh, you
These
guys.
posts mock India. There are male characters in turbans portrayed in blackface. The women are white. They posted videos too. They ridicule Indian movies.
I love India now. Or China. Sorry.
Finally, another convert.
This is in very poor taste and blatant.
This is in the very poor taste.
The Indian accent has got to be like one of the funniest accents.
Oh, Jesus. China will no longer, China's tech support is now gone. China's computers are all going to break down starting tomorrow.
Oh, shit.
Oh, fuck, that's
Blatantly racist. And let me repeat, it comes from the Chinese government.
I'm gonna go with 16.
You know, what kind of point? Have you ever read that Nixon quote about the Indians?
I'm not familiar. Lay it on.
Let me pull it up real quick. I think you'll appreciate it. I don't remember exactly how bad it was. Let's see. Here we go.
God. So all I have to do to get away with blackface now is just be the Chinese government. At least I have a target. At least I have a target of what level of notoriety I need to get to. I'm going to start lending the United States trillions of dollars and exchanging it for land.
Yeah, the Chinese, they get away with a lot more racist stuff than you can hear. Remember when they removed what's his face from the Force Awakens poster?
John
of the black
Boyega
dude?
or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, you ready?
This is a white Star Wars again. You can watch it safely in China.
Yeah. All right, lay it on us.
From President Nixon. He says to Henry Kissinger, undoubtedly the most unattractive women in the world are the Indian women. Undoubtedly. The most sexless nothing, these people. I mean, people say, what about black Africans? Well, you can see something, the vitality there. I mean, they have a little animal-like charm, but God, those Indians, pathetic. To me, they turn me off. How the hell do they turn other people on, Henry? Tell me.
All right, that's extremely offensive.
It's quotes like that show that Watergate was never necessary. It was the hugest blunder by the Nixon administration. It's why he won in a landslide already.
Oh, okay. The next clip, just a little bit of context. This is kind of like, keep in mind the whole E. Jean Carroll, like penthouse letter rape fantasy thing as we watch this like next clip
blatantly
here.
Racist. And let me repeat, it comes from the Chinese government.
I'm going to go with 16.
What kind of porn do you watch?
CNC.
What's CNC?
Consensual non-consent.
What's that mean?
Play rape. Yeah.
The dude's face.
And that's like her fetish?
That's the kind of porn. The question was, what kind of porn do you watch?
Oh, yeah, she got molested. That's sad.
I think that's fairly common for women.
It's
not,
like the
not
most
necessarily being
common.
molested, but liking the rape fantasies. E. Jean Carroll talked about. Remember the E. Jean Carroll, Anderson Cooper. She's like, rape is sexy. Think of the fantasies.
No,
she wasn't totally wrong.
I think that she's from LA. She was molested too. I believe that she was raped. I don't know if she was raped by Trump, but everybody in LA, every child actor, every woman that you see on TV has been molested or has like sold sex for like position and status in those companies. I think that when you see like reports from Pornhub saying that like rape categories are like the most popular with women, I think that they're calculating in like F to M's or M to F's with that like, category.
They're skewing the numbers.
Yeah. I don't buy it, and I think that she was probably molested.
Just like the female crime stats are also skewed.
I'll fully agree with you on them including F to M's or M to F's because it's self-identification, right? Is how Pornhub is getting this. They're picking that people have to identify their gender for their statistics. But no, I mean the rape fantasy is prevalent throughout basically all of romance literature. It's a huge portion of it. It's the
50 Shades of Grey. Anyone?
Well, I could go on I could lecture about 50 Shades of Grey, but that being said, no, but like and it's not as overt as like outright violent rape, and have to remember the language has shifted so much that when normal people think of rape, they think about someone being like smashed down, held, bound against their will, and then penetrated violently. But the reality is that a lot of what is considered a rape fantasy is sufficient amounts of pressure, situations where
maybe it's cold outside,
right? Yeah, and it's so that but this idea of the romance novel is built around this. It's usually someone who's young and vulnerable. In the book, it's usually someone who is in a situation where they're initially uncomfortable and then they start finding themselves liking it. There's those weird fucking movies like 365 Days that it's like a rich, I think it's a Polish guy on a yacht, like abducts a woman and basically has sex with her every day for 365 days until she likes him. Like that was one of the most popular audience movies on Netflix, but it has like a 0% score on Rotten Tomatoes. Like this has been around for a really long time.
I mean, first of all, the audience does not say what gender it is. It's entirely possible that that's men. I think women enjoy being coveted. And I think that they enjoy being submissive in their positions, and I think that, but that's like, when you say rape, what that means to someone listening versus like what that means in like this like weird like fantasy setting is two completely different things. It's like, it's being like turned on by somebody's like power and influence versus, but and again, that's like a fantasy versus like actuality. Like no, like if a woman gets raped, it's probably not erotic or like
Right.
sexy or like tall, dark, and handsome. It's like there's not 800 pages of weird foreplay, and the rapist is probably not a Fortune 500 company executive who's also ripped and stuff. I think that's a popular misconception.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I don't think the rape fantasy isn't like, and she, the way she says it, right? Consensual non-consent is the genre that she's into. It's the role play of basically it's the power thing. It's being just completely submissive in a different way. That's the whole point of the genre, I think. But it's just a common fantasy. It's weird. I don't get it.
All right, let's keep going. Enough about the rape topic. Oh shit.
Wake up, Harry Spotter! It's leg day!
You're a squatter, Harry.
Using the squat rack on the third floor corridor is out of bounds to everyone who does not wish to die under the most painful weight.
Your father was a twig spotter.
Routine go.
Snake! Don't hide from us, we will find you!
Dad? There you are, gym rat. Look at his funny muscles.
What do you see, Harry?
It's me, squatting the forbidden weight.
It does not do to dwell on dreams and forget to squat. Do you train legs, Severus?
Always.
Listen, last night I'm guessing Snake went to the forbidden corridor to squat the forbidden weight. That's why he's limping.
Harry, if you can lift it too.
That means he is your real father.
We go tonight.
Harry Spotter and the Sorcerer's Squat Rack.
So that K humor.
I don't get that one at all.
Oh man.
It's like it's
So
like a
good.
double edit. It's like the Balenciaga edits, but retrofitted to be about squatting.
Are you guys not like hyped about all this AI stuff?
Oh fuck no.
I am.
Technology
I
and its
love it.
consequences have been a disaster for the human race.
Sure, but think of the fucked up movies and whatnot we're gonna get to watch over the next couple years. Come on. You're not a little bit hyped?
No. I don't watch movies. I don't watch anything made after 2008.
You're not watching
that's
any of
the
the
apocalypse day.
AI generated commercials and stuff like that?
No.
The pizza one was funny.
For the record, I don't watch commercials. I would literally prefer anything else besides watching a commercial. I have managed for years not to see a commercial. I refused. If a service has like an advertising requirement, I will find literally any other way to avoid doing that.
You guys both sounding like dudes who haven't squatted this week.
That's definitely true. Have you ever looked at me?
Well, speaking of commercials,
About time
Gersh,
for a show like this.
10 single boys are meeting for the first time with a kiss.
No chat, no messages, just a kiss.
But the path to love is never straight.
What? Are you for real?
If you're saving your kiss for a different boy, don't turn.
This boy will never ever forget our first kiss.
The UK's first gay dating show. I Kissed a Boy. Watch on BBC iPlayer.
what do you think of that commercial?
Well, we know where to
Nobody's gonna
target the
watch it.
napalm.
Nobody's gonna watch this shit.
Oh, I think
Watch
people
on
will
iPlayer.
watch
What
it,
the fuck?
actually.
Watch on iPlayer. What the fuck
Women
is
and
that?
gay people will watch it.
is-
Straight men
Yeah,
will
what is
not be
iPlayer?
watching.
That's because women think that gay men are funny. Women see two men kissing and they think that's like the funniest shit. It's like two men fucking. What is there a better punchline to any kind of joke? That's I don't know. I don't think like I choose to believe that nobody watches this shit because that's what I want to believe.
It looked.
He said when you actually scientifically look at white people, you know, monkeys are hairy. White people are the hairiest people
On Earth.
On Earth. I am really hairy. Like
No,
seriously.
This is, I don't shave.
No, I shave all. I'm shaving
I
right
know.
now.
I got
hair on my back,
coming up
my chest. all hairy.
You got hair coming up
hair
the
my ears.
collar. Okay.
I got,
these were highly overlooked similarities.
Yeah, the big ears. White people usually have big ears.
Bigger ears around.
Monkeys
Obama
have
wants
thin
to know your
lips.
locations.
White people, I have thin lips.
Yes.
So really, I look more like a monkey than anyone else. But but then there's the whole racist stereotype that to this day still go.
The 19th century anthropologist is probably the most racist period in the most racist branch of science there ever was. And it's evident by the moment you start categorizing people and then ranking them, well, you're going to rank yourself at the top, and that will deeply bias you for what you look for and what you cite as evidence to support your biased view. And you don't even think you have a biased view. But these biased views fed the entire eugenics movement.
What annoys me about that part of the clip is that he says that 19th century or 18th century or whatever it was, anthropology was like the most racist, but he doesn't give any like kind of specific examples of like, here's what so-and-so did. Look at he's just like, oh, they ranked people and put people at the top. And it's like, what are you even talking about? What do you mean? Like, what's your citation? What's your source, bro?
There's a YouTube series called like The Best Meal Show Ever, and it's about this guy called Sonny, and he just goes to these really shithole countries and he eats like they do.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see when he goes to like Zimbabwe and meets like uncontacted tribes and eats like an entire pig that was skewered over an open fire and just like lazily like disemboweled in like the uncleanliest way, like on a dirt floor,
like bugs crawling
and it's like
on it and shit.
Yeah, it flies all over the fucking place. You're watching this and you're thinking, like, I can really see why the colonialists, when they arrived in Africa, they looked at this and said, these people could possibly be trained to mine for us, but they're not ever going to come to our cities. You know what I mean? I totally get that perspective when I see, like, how they live to this day. But even those people, like even people in Africa who are like uncontacted
socioeconomic factors, though, Josh. That's what we know now.
It's true. They've never been exposed to the U.S. dollar. But if you took those people and you introduced them to Aborigines, they would look at those Aborigines and say, "These people can be trained to mine for us, but they're never going to be allowed to the tribe or to eat our pig." You know, I don't know if you've ever been to Australia, but there's like. I can't say certain things on YouTube because it would be dehumanizing, but like, I don't know, you'll have enlightening contacts that make you think, damn.
I appreciate your discretion there.
Suppose the 19th century had...
Sorry, go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, just the real interesting thing is, of course, they open with the most anecdotal of claims. Like, white people are super hairy because look at me, I'm a hairy Greek or whatever. And then it's like, and I'm not hairy because I'm like black. And it's like, have you never seen a black dude with just like a shitload of hair all over his body? Like, I've seen hairy black men too. I don't know how they, I don't know how they anecdotal question of like, I don't have hair, but you do. Now we've proved that white people are hairy. It's like a weird fucking thing for a scientist to do. Like, where's his, like, has Neil deGrasse Tyson done a cross-section survey of the hairiness of races? Like, and if he has, do we get to ask why he's done this? Like, where this came from?
Playing devil's advocate,
an Italian stallion,
this is another anecdote, but Josh sounded a little bit like a chimp when he laughed just now, I thought. So.
As a proud one-quarter Nepalese person, I am the most monkey-like in my hairiness. The only one demographic, the Greek, is more monkey-like than me.
I mean, what I'm just like, I know that jokes in the chat are great, but listen, I grew up in a predominantly black neighborhood that had a fucking community pool. Like, they're hairy ass people all over the place. It's not like. This is the strangest fucking argument from a guy who's talking about scientific analysis.
Black people at the pool. Now I know you're just making this up, Nick.
The word leftover hair in the pool, but
yeah, he had to come up with a quick cover story and went with black guy at the pool. You should have said ice skating rink, motherfucker.
the tables. Let's make them racist and see what they would come
They're
up
all
with.
at the bottom
Of course,
of the pool,
they'd have to put themselves at the top and now find all the similarities between white people and chimpanzees. And it start with the fully hairy bodies, the huge ears, I
have big ears.
And the person who wants, look at my ear here. How big is that?
Pretty small.
All right. Yeah. And people say, well, how about Obama? He's first black president and he's got big ears. He's exactly half white.
Well, he's probably
we
more
call him
than
a black president.
Well, no, yeah, his dad comes from Africa.
He's
His mom is
exactly
totally white. He's exactly
His dad comes from Africa. His dad's Kenyan. I thought that was a conspiracy theory.
My con law professor was which we call it? He's an Iranian, well, a Persian, he would say. He's one of the only conservative professors at the law school, but he's a Persian man, and he was sitting there. Oh wait, no, sorry, it was the black guy. It was the black guy who was a Buddhist, who was the other conservative, who was my employment law professor. He was at a meeting. They had a big staff meeting when Obama was elected, and they were talking about everything and stuff, and how he overcame all this racial bias or whatever. And then he asked a question at the staff meeting just to piss everybody off. He says, so is Obama's intelligence from his black side or his white side? Right? Like, where does it come from? And they had no fucking idea how to respond to him at all. Because and Neil deGrasse Tyson's doing the same fucking thing here. So he's exactly half white, therefore his ears are big. These are again weird fucking things to come out of this. I mean, not really when you know how retarded this guy actually is, but it's like, what are these arguments? Well, he's half white, so therefore his ears are huge. That makes no sense at all. Strange as shit.
No doubt those big ears come from his mama. Okay.
There you go, Nick. Black science man set you straight.
I mean, does his mom have big ears? Look, I don't even know.
Point is,
she's white. That's all you need to know.
I'm just saying, look how easy it is to be racist.
Right.
And take a look at a chimpanzee's lips. They're razor thin. All right. And we've got some very famous large-lipped black people, Jay-Z among them. All right. I don't have small lips. So they overlooked so much.
All right, I did a little edit. This wasn't part of the original Vlad TV. Oh no.
You know what's funny about that?
What's funny about that, Josh?
I've mentioned this before. This is one of my favorite
anecdotes. Not Facebook too.
In China, there was an issue where their facial recognition technology had issues telling different Asian people apart, which is funny. But then, of course, that happens, and they get together and they decide, okay, how are we going to fix this? In the United States, when this happened, and the AI was marking these photos as primates and gorillas, Google's initial reaction was to literally remove gorillas as an image classification. Yeah, just completely wiped out the concept of gorilla in the AI's mind. And that's the Western way of doing stuff. You don't sit down and figure out how to fix it. You immediately start sticking the screwdriver into the computer chip and just pulling shit out.
The computer offended me.
ChatGPT is literally lobotomized. You know, if I was a human.
That was honestly fucking funny.
Yeah, that's like an earthquake, huh? You almost dented the floor.
Yeah, it was.
Shrek.
Is that Frank Castle?
Oh man, that Shrek at the end is just it's a bit much.
Was that anybody of note, or was that just random people?
That is Fish Tank. That's the Sam Hyde show, internet show. Yeah. We can just keep going. We're getting close to the end here. I don't want to keep you guys too long, but we got super chat still, so let's just keep going.
When you said in that,
sometimes you just laugh at the fat person falling down, and you don't have to, write an essay about it.
Video that Ms. Leeds would not be your first choice. You were referring to her physical looks, correct?
I look at her, I hear what she says, whatever. You wouldn't be a choice of mine either.
Come on, Josh, you love it.
That fucking face.
It's like the easiest thing to go for, though. I knew it was coming when I saw the faces. I'm like, oh, I know he's gonna say.
Okay, but hear me out. So years and years ago, when I was driving a whole lot, I listened to a lot of talk radio, and this is Glenn Beck had a prediction. He always does. Now Glenn Beck says something predictable and just says, "Well, I don't know the timeline. It could be whenever," but he said eventually the Republican Party is going to just demand a fat guy with mustard stains on his shirt and tie who just says exactly what they're all thinking. And that's Trump, man. I mean, you're ugly. Like that's Trump's entire thing was you're ugly. And everybody is looking at these hideous women going, yeah, they're really fucking ugly. I wouldn't want to touch any. I wouldn't even rape you, mate. Like, right? Like that is it's quintessential, straight to the point. And that's what resonates. And the Republicans eventually got tired of these buttoned down, slicked up politicians who will not fight back. They won't ever retort. They'll just sit there and take abuse from these people on camera all day. And Trump just finally said it. You're fucking ugly.
His face is fucking orange. Why is it not okay? When they say orange
Really?
man
Orange
bad,
man?
everyone
Come
gets
on,
upset.
Josh.
But when he says I wouldn't even fuck you, that's the height of comedy. I'm just saying. I'm just pointing out.
Okay, I'm just gonna show this. Fuck it, dude. So we're not gonna get a Sneeko call tonight. He's on a dinner date with Destiny's girlfriend, wife, dude. It's not even. It's his wife, bro. The West has fallen.
That's the end.
What?
That's the last clip.
What's the context of this? Coach Red Pill doesn't have internet access, so therefore the West has fallen?
No, so that's Leafy is here, and he's talking about how Sneeko, I don't know if you guys know Sneeko, he's a streamer, content guy. Sneeko was supposed to call in
one of
to
the Red Pill guys, right?
I guess so, yeah. He's like a kind of like a Andrew Tate
Manosphere.
bro guy. Sneeko was supposed to call in to Leafy's stream, but Leafy got a message saying I can't call in because I'm on a date with Destiny's wife. And then that's why Leafy says the West has fallen, because dudes are out here letting their wives get fucked by Sneeko. That's
but
the context.
Sneeko also allegedly lets his wife get fucked by other dudes. Like that was a big
yes. Sneeko does
controversy
have a
recently.
shameful cuck scandal of his own. Unfortunately, so you're right. It's just degeneracy left, right, and center. All right, well, let's get into the super chats. There's not a whole lot, so this won't take too long.
Come on, guys. You know you got some super chats. Come on, bring it.
Zender's Z Rant sent $1. I don't even know if I should read it for $1, but I guess I will. Someone I know put a Chinese lion statue in his lawn. He was forced to remove it because all the suburbia didn't want someone else culture in it. And the rest of the house had small angel statues. Well, this just sounds based once again. I'm already kind of sold on the homeowners thing, and you don't have to
More
sell me on it.
anti-Chinese racism.
Yeah, keep suburbia Anglo. Okay, let's move on. Bishop sent $10. Thanks, man. Appreciate the $10. And he says, Nick, can Josh do any lawfare to force Matthew Prince to provide evidence of the immediate threat to human life he said forced him to cancel service?
Yeah, no. I mean, we've seen it over and over. The part of the issue is an issue of constitutionality. You have a constitutional right to address your government for the redress of grievances, which means you have a constitutional right to make reports that something bad is going to happen, and the government has some duty to allow those reports to be made until you get to a place of vexatious litigant or something like that. And it's really unfortunate that people get to weaponize the government against their enemies in that way. But until you reach a certain threshold where you can pursue like a harassment claim, it's not going to happen. And unfortunately, as much as I don't think that it's an actual real issue, there are plenty of people who would consider kiwi farms to be a source of some level of danger or terrorism to common society. People are very uncomfortable, for example, with doxing. I personally don't see anything illegal about doxing. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but you know, it happens. It's happened to me. It doesn't really affect my day-to-day life. So it's not that big of a deal. And I think I think that's the point of a lot of kiwi farms, is showing people that, yeah, you got doxxed on the internet and nothing happened to you. Your life literally didn't change. But not everybody sees it that way, and including a lot of police don't see it that way. So when someone calls and says, you know, this is a threat to human lives, this person's being quote unquote harassed or bullied or whatever, people are going to kill them. Look at all the N-words on this page, right? Like, then the police are always going to see that in this particular way because someone has a quote unquote good faith complaint, even though
I just want to say I wouldn't have invited Josh on the show if I knew there was N-words on kiwi farms. I disavow completely.
There are more N-words on kiwi farms than CNN. Oh my God.
Josh, did you have anything you wanted to add to that, or
what Matthew Prince wrote almost teetered into defamation, but he avoided it. His statement existed to serve two purposes. It had to console their clients, to let them know that there was not, like, he reversed on his policy within 2 days. He had to explain why he was doing that. And the second one was to excuse getting rid of us because of stock prices, basically. Never trust a publicly traded company. I'm actually really unhappy to hear that Rumble has gone public.
Good to know. Somebody with acrylic letters in their name that I can't read sent $5, and they say, ask Josh about book recommendations. He has a really good one.
Industrial Society and Its Future is the name of my book recommendation. Unironically, it's authored by a professor of mathematics.
Yeah, I actually skimmed through that. Read. And I was shocked because the person sent it to me. They're like, what do you think of this? And I like skimmed through it and I was like, wow, everything he's saying is making a lot of sense. And they're like, yeah, that's the Unabomber manifesto.
It was so ahead of its time is why it wasn't popular during its time. But when you look at it, he even has, I think he writes about how he had like gender identity issues, and then he went to a clinic and saw all the transsexuals there, and he became so disgusted with it that he left to buy a log cabin in Montana. It really is just ahead of its time in thought in every way.
Yeah, I should read it for real sometime. Farty Magoo sent $5. Thank you. And he says, it's understandable that Neil Tyson thinks white people are hairy because the only white person desperate enough to get naked for Tyson is his wife. Ooh. Ouch. I guess he's married. I don't know anything about his wife, but I guess according to that, he must be married to a white woman. A hairy white woman.
How like him and who's the Supreme Court justice? That's black.
Clarence Thomas.
Clarence
Thomas. That's right.
Well, or Ketanji Brown Jackson.
They all marry white women. They gotta know something's up.
No, so that's when you know you made it. You know. Mexi Man and Cheese sends $3, and he says, I'm convinced the woman that Me Too'd Neil deGrasse Tyson did it just because he can't turn the science bullshit off. Probably while he was inside her, he said something like, did you know I never actually touched you? Atoms never actually touch. It's impossible. You guys don't think that's funny? That's a good deGrasse Tyson satire there. Come on.
What is he? Is he actually like a scientist?
Yeah,
you never seen his tweets where he's like, Santa can't actually, for him to like travel around, he'd have to, and it's technically
like
impossible.
Bill Nye the Science Guy. Like Bill Nye the Science Guy is like just he has like a bachelor's in mechanical engineering or something, and for some reason everyone thinks he knows everything about science. Is Neil deGrasse Tyson like that?
No, he's got a PhD in either physics or astrophysics, and he's the reason Pluto is no longer considered a planet.
Oh, fuck him!
Exactly. Fuck this guy. He sucks.
We have gods named after, or that Pluto is named after. It's a planet.
Okay. We're into the power chat stuff now, and I don't know if you guys know this, but I do stream on Cozy, so some of these might be a little bit aggressive, but it doesn't look too bad from what I see. But Anon sent us $10.
You stream on Cozy?
Yeah, I'm on Cozy. Yeah, we're on Cozy right now. There's like 8 people watching. Nobody watches me on Cozy, but I am there.
Hi, Cozy.
What's that?
I said hi, Cozy, because I didn't know we were streaming there. What's up, guys? How you doing?
Anon sent $10 and said, "What does Josh and Kiwi Farm stand for?" Tuned into Maddie the other day, and he's pulling "I'm not political" routine, but his entire persona is parasitizing off the middling clout he obtained from 8chan days. Zero loyalty. KF is retarded. Time wasting drama.
Josh,
I saw that when it came in.
Disloyal parasitin.
I can't even imagine what he thinks I got out of 8chan. 8chan, like everyone who knows me from 8chan hates me to this day and thinks I should be dead. I think that 8chan, working with 8chan was a mistake entirely. I don't like to live a life where I say I regret anything, but I'm trying to think about what good came out of dealing with 8chan. And I don't think anything good came out of it. Except maybe experience, but yeah, I don't know.
I will say I watch Maddie and I find it entertaining. I don't watch it as much anymore, but when I had my day job and I was like locked in the cubicle, it was just like a really nice thing to listen to while I wrote JavaScript.
Laughing at funny shit on the internet will never not be entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I would. It's like it's hard for me to categorize my politics. There's probably 2 words I could use, but that has like a connotation to it, and it doesn't really jive with other people who would use those words because
National Socialist.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just that when you say that, you have like this perspective of like propertied women today, and I don't like people who use the term like Nazi to describe themselves. They're like Andrew Anglin, who believe that you should be able to like buy a 13-year-old at auction and impregnate them against their will, and I'm not a part of that. So I can't really call myself anything. I just try to make fun of stuff. And that's and my politics are, as far as what I try to see in the world, is a more open internet, and that's.
You're kind of carrying the Medicare torch a little bit of just laughing.
Well, I'm not. He's a libertarian because he's married to a Vietnamese woman. I'm not a libertarian, so I don't know how much we align on politics. I try to be less doom and gloom than him because he was very, very negative and we're fucked, and why even bother trying to be optimistic? And I try to fight pessimism where I can.
Yeah, based. Fire Rises sent $5 and says double jeopardy. He should grape her now on the courthouse steps.
It's not how that works, but I like it.
Okay. Thank you for the $5. Anonymous, this one just came in, sent $5, and they say a black guy dancing with a guy's wife followed by an obese woman. It's like looking at Nick's. Oh, okay.
Say it. Read it.
It's like looking at Nick's love life followed by Josh's.
That's funny.
Oh, I see.
Is that because you love Chantel, Josh?
I can't shake that. Like, I did 2 back-to-back streams on like fat women like 4 years ago, and to this day I'm portrayed as a chubby chaser. This is extremely unfortunate how these things happen.
Yeah. All right. This is the last one. This is coming through on Odyssey, and it's a $5 from Sign Me Up Fam, and it just says Jersh No. Not sure what.
Oh, dude, people gave me a lot of shit for coming. I didn't even expect it. Like, I got a lot of like really shitty comments when I announced this on
for coming on my show, because I'm on Cozy is probably the main.
Do you want me to read them?
Yeah, go ahead.
Ooh.
Is that stream just a cuck and some wannabe Ralph reviewing YouTube videos? Why would you advertise this, let alone partake? Sneedcat1776, holy cringe. Folly of man says, or rather demands, rhetorically, fix your site. Nick says, the dolphin fucker. Just your local guard says, dude, I ran into his Facebook page by accident. Dude, beta as fuck. He was literally melting down on his because people mocked him over retarded posts about Fox News being fake. And then the Kiwi Clipper says he referring to Nick, he chose to stream with you right after he spurred out about how mean you are and how bad your site is. What a hypocrite. He is to say that you've burnt bridges with everyone.
Okay. Can I talk about that real quick?
Sure.
Because like people's idea of spurging is so weird. I made a very specific statement that Kiwi Farms makes itself hard to defend. I mean, it does
It's
for
true.
a lot of people.
That's true.
That's not false, and I've never been mad at you about it. Like, first of all, you don't post on Kiwi Farms. Like, people individually do. But that doesn't mean that the site doesn't make itself hard to defend. You're the guy who has to defend it all the time, and it's fucking difficult.
You made a statement that I took issue with. And
what was that?
You said that the thread was like line crossing harassment, and it had broken its original motive of being watch only. And I have no idea what you're referring to.
No. Okay, so there's a rule on the farms, right? If I'm not mistaken, there's a rule of don't touch the cow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there are people in various threads who intentionally touch the cow, and sometimes they get removed, and sometimes they don't. And I think that there's
reference
been
to who though? Like, can you give an example?
Well, for me, for some examples, yeah.
What happened to you that would be line crossing? I can't think of an instance off the top of my head.
Well, there are users in my thread who have definitely like intentionally tried to interfere with shit and to provoke and provocate stuff. Yeah, absolutely. I didn't ask you to remove anybody. I don't do that. Like, I'm not gonna be like, let me report this.
I don't know what I legitimately don't know what you're referring to. I can't think of an instance.
I can talk to you privately about it. I don't want to call out people. Like, I don't want people removed or anything. But I'm just saying, like, that does happen.
I do.
And again, it's not a perfect system. I'm not like blaming you for it or anything.
I want
like
whoever
that.
left that first comment about me removed. That hurt my feelings. I thought they were going to attack Cozy, and they just called me a boring and said my show sucks. So hey, I have something I want to say about that. Not to interrupt, but just real quick. I watch Maddie now and then, but I don't use Kiwi Farms like ever. And one time I tried, because a lot of like YouTubers use Kiwi Farms because it's like a resource of like you can make videos out of all the information on there. You know what I mean? And a long time ago, I was like thinking about making a video about Sophie LaBelle or whatever her name is, his name. Sorry. Yeah. Cause he told people to like flag my Facebook page.
Really?
And you go to Kiwi Farms, you click on the thread, it's fucking 3,000 pages. You start reading through it. It's just a bunch of fucking like lonely retards speculating, being like, well, I think maybe this is what they're doing. And it's like, I just want the facts. I don't want to hear your fucking opinions, you lonely loser faggot, whoever left that comment about me. Fuck you.
The speculation is part of the fun, because a lot of it turns out to be true. And it's funny when someone's like far off schizo theory about something stupid turns out to be reality. The Sophie people are like really dedicated about him though. And I think it's just because he's so prolific. Like, he's famous and he puts out books and does book tours and stuff. And he's also aggressive. Like, he went really hard after like there's an autistic girl in the forum who accidentally doxed herself to Sophie, and Sophie went like after her family and shit. And it's just like people really have a hate boner for him. But yeah, usually like hopefully the OP is good, and then you can check the last few pages and scan by like highlights, and that's usually how you get like anything worth anything.
All right, well, I, for one, thought that was a fun show. I enjoyed myself. I can't speak for the audience or anybody else, but I thought that was pretty good. Did you guys want to, sorry, I kind of interrupted there. Did you want to, were you done with your rant about Kiwi Farms?
Did you want more?
I mean, we can talk whenever. We could talk on my show, your show, or we could talk here. I don't care. people get this misconception that because I have various criticisms of a website, that one, I either want it like taken down or disciplined or removed, or I want someone I need someone to fix something. No, I mean, we just get to talk about things, and it's okay. It's okay to like not agree with something that exists without wanting it removed. And also, like, I've never had any personal beef with Josh ever. And people think that just because I criticized something that happened on the farms that it's your fault or I want you to change something. No, again, guys, part of free speech is having to deal with stuff that you don't like existing and just being fine with it. But the other part of free speech is getting to say, you know what? I don't think that this is correct, but that's okay. And it's so fucking weird how everybody is so goddamn thirsty for a fight, for a drama arc. They're so fucking thirsty for someone to hate someone else or to do something because they can't stop masturbating over the dead idea of IBS. They're like, oh God, I just need more of those. I just need more of those streams where everybody hates each other. Not really at first, but they really hate each other later. And guys, IBS is never going to work because it literally drove wedges between people because all the jokes turned into reality when people got butthurt. And then it ate itself because people stop wanting to participate in the drama because all it is stress. And so then you have to start manufacturing drama constantly to feed the beast. It was a self-defeating platform. And look, it was great. It's a lot of entertainment, but not everybody's fighting all the time. It's okay.
Yeah. It does make a lot of money. If you and Josh want to start yelling at each other, don't let me stop you. You know,
take us off YouTube and I'll yell all sort of stuff. Josh, you N-word.
Oh, no.
Whoa.
Hey, I am 0.5% African American according to my 56andMe, and I take that very seriously. I actually identify. Actually, no, that's not true. I'm actually 3% black and 0.5% Ashkenazi. I identify first and foremost as an Ashkenazi Jewish black man.
Okay, well, that's another thing that would have stopped me from inviting you on the show.
How many Palestinian children are buried under your basement?
Unfortunately, it's ordered by like preference. So if you're like Ethan Klein or Gila, you're like 100%. So you get like first pick. So I only get like one a year. I have to be on the waiting list.
All right, guys. I think it's a good place to end it. We'll end with like plugs or final thoughts. I'll give you guys each a little chance to give your final thoughts or plug whatever you want people to know about. Nick, you go first.
I mean, you can find me anywhere. Well, except Cozy, I guess. You can find me just about anywhere at Rekieta Law. Look, guys, my whole thing on the internet is like laugh at stuff, have fun, maybe talk a little bit about law on occasion, but mostly just enjoy the world for what it is. Sometimes talk about some principles of libertarianism, of free speech, and say fuck it. But that's it. If you want to come have fun and do that, come check it out. Check out the show. I do a live stream every weeknight, just about at 11 p.m. Central. And I try to throw in some other stuff too, but that's it.
Awesome. And, I want to thank you again for having me on your channel to talk about my lawsuit thing back, because that really helped me out a lot. That really helped me out. We raised like $1,000. And of course my lawyer then billed me like $1,300 to watch the stream. It's funny how that works. And then they're like, you got to get out there and do more fundraising. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I can't do more. If I do more shows, I'm not fucking telling you about them. I'll tell you that right now. Oh,
he should not charge you to watch that. That's insane. I cannot imagine doing that.
Josh, final thoughts, plugs, etc.
My name's Josh. I host a website and I do a podcast, and all my shit's down right now. t.me/Kiwi Farms. Mad at the Internet on YouTube, mati.live for the website when it's back up. Or you can find my website at Kiwi Farms AAF4T2H7G3DCF50J. That's actually too long for me to read, .onion, but you can find a link to that at t.me/Kiwi Farms if you so choose. Even without an account, we're actually blocked from being previewed on Telegram, so there's a nice link for you to click.
Oh, are you banned on like the app stores or whatever?
Yeah, I'm banned on the app and you can't preview my channel. Shit sucks.
Oh, hardcore. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Big thanks to my guests. Really appreciate you guys taking the time, and we'll catch you all later. Peace out.
Thanks, buddy.